A lot of you guys are pretty new, so I'll kind of keep it for everybody here. All right, so real quick, my name is Adam. I am founder of Smarter Contact. I'm a long-term real estate investor. I've bought and sold over 500 plus houses in my career, and currently living in Eastern Europe, building my ultimate passion, which is this software, which has changed so many lives around the last couple of years. And I'm also going to introduce my co-hosts today. Are Kevin Hernandez. Maybe you can offer a quick introduction, and also Daniel. Kevin, can you introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hey everybody, it's a pleasure to meet y'all and to be here. I'm really humbled. As Adam stated, I started off as an acquisition agent, and that really gave me the opportunity to grow into it organically and really understand the ins and outs of business, and also really to get an idea of the environment and see what other people are doing and how I could, personalize that and really custom tailor to, what my vision is and why I'm in this business and what my values are, which is really what the main message is for today, being personal and making conversations and relationships memorable, to where people always have a good feeling when they think about you or when they hear your name. So, as Adam stated, I've been having some great success with SMS, and I'm really excited to, touch on it and hopefully help you guys out.
Awesome. Kevin is one of the most authentic guys. He's as humble as it gets. So Kevin, thanks for jumping on. So Daniel is actually with our marketing team. Daniel, if it's all right, I'm going to have you come on as a guest, because really we're going to pick Kevin's brain on his specific tactics with wholesaling. So Daniel, everybody thank Daniel for helping us get on, because we've been having technical issues lately.
I'm right here. Don't worry.
Awesome, Daniel. All right, cool. So let's get started. So what everyone wants to know, and really, Kevin, we're going to be interviewing you a lot on this about your strategies. So Kevin started out as an acquisition rep for another company, and then once he started, he learned the ins and the outs of the game. So Kevin, tell me a little bit about what you know so far about Smarter Contact and what you're doing today. Like, what are your results right now in today's market?
Yeah, so great thing about wholesaling is that you can do it a ton of different ways, which is something that I always admired about it. There's so many marketing marketing channels, and personally, being from a newer generation of investors, being young, I've always been in communication through SMS. You got to think about whenever I was in middle school, I'm the little kid that would run up his parents' bills, just texting, because at that point, it wasn't free or unlimited, right? So kind of building on those nuances and really understanding the emotion that people react and engage and respond to through text was something that was pivotal for me, because I knew that that was a strength that I had, just coming into real estate. And whenever I saw that this was actually a marketing channel, I was sort of blown away, because as just being a normal person, you'd be like, wow, like, so you're texting random people and you're wanting to buy houses with random people through text, right? It just sounds so like outlandish, but the reality is one of the most organic ways to get through to someone. And the time gap in between that is really the opportunity, because people have time to think about what you're saying and what you're wanting to do, which is not something that you have through, like voice calls, or cold calling, because you're putting people on the spot. You're not really giving them the opportunity to respond, as, if they could just stare at the text and say, well, what do I want to say to this guy? How should I respond to this?
So I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. So this goes into the point of why I've seen you become so successful with texting, is because you are an expert at crafting a good opening message, and a message that's going to put someone in a good mood, or a message that's going to really get the person to respond. So question and I want to keep this interactive. How many of you have ever first off, if you're texting, how many of you have ever sent a message like that was boring? Like, hey John, are you interested in purchasing a your property at 123 Main Street? So reply yes if you've sent that kind of message before. And we got a bunch of yeses. Yeah, and this, you don't know better, right? You don't know. It's like, this is like, that's, you're interested in buying someone's property and you just don't know, right? You just send them a yes, no, like, yes, I'm interested in buying your property. What's the price? You're kind of direct, but you have to understand that people are so tired of getting messaged. They're so tired of all this vanilla marketing that you're just like you're just one out of many people, right? And I'm guilty of the same thing. I've done this, the first few months when I was wholesaling, I did the same thing. And when I noticed, Kevin, with your strategy, you kind of tie in more emotion into it. You make it more personal. You make it more of a personal thing where it's like, actually, it kind of ends up being a positive message. So maybe you could speak a little more on it, Kevin. What is it about? How important is the opening message? And maybe you can offer some tips to people here that want to work on their opener.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm glad that everyone is aware that, at one point in your career, you sent out a boring message, because that's really the pivot from being someone that's going to be a shark in this business to being someone that's just going to be mediocre. And one thing that I really had to think about was, what am I, or what are we scared of? Like, why are we living in our head so much of what this person might think if I send this message? It was really a kind of like a trial and error sort of thing, what works and what doesn't work. And at the end of the day, people are living their lives, and we all know that we're always going through some issues, personal issues, career issues, financial issues, transitions. Life is crazy. And we're reaching out to people that we are hoping to do business with because maybe we see that they have some pain points that we could solve for them, right? And that's crucial to understand, because if you're reaching out to people that you hope to help, why don't you come off warm and welcoming from the beginning? You have one shot. You have literally just one opportunity to make this person do business with you, right? And you don't want to mess it up. You want to put your best foot forward. And when I thought about how do I make my messages, more responsive, I knew I was onto the right track, because it starts with thinking. It starts with really visualizing how the conversation can go and how you can direct it to where it may increase the likelihood of you getting a deal. Does that make sense to everybody? Y'all type in the chat if that makes sense, please. I don't want to lose anybody here.
Yeah. Man, we have a triple OG in the house, Mr. Charles Hernandez. That is the Godfather. If you guys don't know who HBHS is, check them out right now. This is this guy is the Godfather. Really, somebody I admire, and so many people in this industry look up to. So Charles, it's a great honor for you to be here, brother. I really appreciate your support. And man, we got a lot of people here saying yes, makes sense. Can you give some examples? How can you come across welcome? So yeah.
Awesome. Let me go right into that. So Brian, great question. Can you give us some examples? I can. I really can. But what I want you to understand, right? What I want you to understand is you have to be creative, and you have to be you and be yourself, right? Because people can sense, like, I don't know if you guys believe this or not, but I do, and it's worked for me. But people can feel your sincerity through message, through your voice, through your tone, through your context. So if whenever people, let's say for example, I decide to get a coach, right? And coaches are there for a reason. They want you to see you grow. They're going to give you some examples. What you're not supposed to do is copy and paste that example, and that's exactly what people are doing. And that's why it's so easy for carriers to block your messages. If you really want to get to zero block rate, be yourself, talk to people like if you know them. Like if it's some if you know I'm gonna text Adam, I'm not gonna be boring. You know, think about
Hello.
your
Hello,
personal
Adam.
relationship. You know,
Hell
think
no.
of,
Look at that. Hell, you texted me like that for?
right. You don't want to be boring. You don't want to be a boring texter. Like if you think about the people that text you, like you know who's boring and who's not.
Right.
So let me ask you, Ryan. I'm gonna put some focus on you. You know why? Let me think about the question. What's different from the way you talk to sellers to the way you talk to your friends and family? What's different? Anybody can give their 2 cents on it. I'd really love to see what people come up with. I'll repeat the question. What's different between the conversation that you have with the seller to the conversation you have with friends or family?
And by the way, when you type, don't do it just to panelists. Type it panelists and attendees in Zoom. Just in a drop down.
Okay, so comfortability, more professional, familiarity. Speaking to a seller client might be more transactional, whereas a family would add more emotion. Have to be a little more professional, personal, professional. Okay, perfect. So this is really an exercise. So I hope that the people that are on here, you're here to get value. This is a practical exercise that you're doing with yourself, and we're just kind of directing the conversation, right? So everyone's saying more professional, personal, a little more professional. Okay, so those people that have been in wholesaling for quite some time, or maybe you're just starting out and you already know this because it's so obvious. The people that are going to do business with you you're going to develop a ton of rapport. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, professional, personal, but honestly, I could care less about being professional. Like there's a time and a place for everything, right? The
They're
time
two
and a
opposite
place.
things. They're two
Yeah,
opposite things in this realm. And, you're going to either come off personal or you're going to come off professional. And I'm glad that we had a lot of people say that they prefer professional over personal, or some, professionals. Probably we got like 4 or 5 people that said that here.
yeah. So, if my messages are a little bit of everything, right? The key to having great response rates and delivery rates is variety. I don't just send like the same 8 messages every day. I literally change my messages every single day because they're personal.
Mhm.
Even if you start thinking about the people that you're reaching out to, like the pain points, there's so many different ways that you can really cater to those lists and the job. And I it would suck for me, like if I really didn't care about being up here, I would give you guys like 10 outgoing messages and boom, go out and try it, right? And maybe you'll have success at the beginning, but what happens, more people start sharing it. Oh, it works, and at one point those messages aren't going to work anymore because so many people are sending them out. So think about that. If you really want more responses and more engaging conversations, even with the opt-out messages, there's still a way to do it because I see it every day. And once again, going back to the topic, how do I make it personal? There's so many different things going on in our lives right now. Like it's really how you're going to relate to the seller, right? I mean, we're in a pandemic, right? So people, are going through different stages of life. Some people are having a tough time. Some people are doing okay. So
It
you
could
can
be a
relate to
day.
that.
Let's say you do a campaign. I'll give you guys one. Happy Saturday, or it's Saturday. It's a Saturday campaign. How's your Saturday going?
Yeah. Like,
Or it's Thursday. How's your Thursday going? And you just have a different message, like different wins like that. That's an example. But you be creative and come in positive. Come in positive. You just don't want to come in flat and professional. Not in this game. I'm telling you, you don't want to be the yes sir, no sir. There's a time and place for that. But in the opener, what do you think on professional? Which would you rather be, Kevin? Professional or personal?
personal every single time. So actually I do have an exercise for everybody that can, if you guys can be real active in the chat with this one. who, I know there's a lot of seasoned investors in the chat. How many of you get text messages yourself, like for your properties? Can someone type in that? How many investors out there actually get SMS messages from other investors? Okay, Ryan, I do. Tony, I do all the time. Sade, only like a dozen a year. Okay, yes, I do. All right, so okay, we'll keep on going with that. All right, with that tangent. So, let me ask you something. Do they all sound the same over and over? Those of you that said yes. Oh, the same thing over and over and over. But I guarantee you, if I sent you a text, right? If I sent you a text today, you would be like, who is this? Like, this, I know this is a wholesaler, but why are they talking like that? That's what you want to do. You want to have that breakthrough, right? You want to be able to say, like, yeah, I'm reaching out to these people. Maybe they won't respond, but I'm sending positive energy their way, so I'm gonna give you guys another freebie that you guys can use. What's the next holiday in the United States? Can y'all type that in?
The next what?
Holiday.
Next holiday.
Okay, Memorial Day. What do you guys think you can do with that? Somebody in the chat, tell me you're listening. What can you do with that?
How about this? The top one gets a $30 credit.
Oh, $30 credit for your account.
We'll add a $30 credit to the top one that we get here in the chat, and just get your email. We'll vote on it, me and you, and we'll do a $30 credit on the top one.
There we go. Oh, Eric, I love that. Thanks to you and your family for their service in our military. Good morning. Happy Memorial Day. Thank people for their service and see how we can add value to them. Yes, Sade. Yes. So already you guys are kind of going off of what I'm doing, right? Let me tell you guys something. It's easy to get money. It really is. In wholesaling, you guys know that. But we become so numb to money that we forget to be personal. And when you become personal, you actually start making impacts in people's lives where, sellers will call you and say, hey, thank you so much for helping me out. Like, wow, I really can't believe you closed this fast and you were really able to help me out and you kept your word. Like, I have sellers telling me, wow, this seemed too easy to be true. And you start off with this outgoing message. You want to be engaging. You want to be memorable. You want to be personal. Does all of that make sense?
Man, we got some killer texts. Some of these might not be the best opener, but good morning. I know you're getting ready to throw something on the grill for Memorial Day. Just wanted to check in. Get your follow-up with that. It's over.
Oh my God.
It's over.
I love that.
That's a good man. All right. Harrison, are you a Smarter Contact customer? Because if you are, we're gonna hook you up a little bit right now.
Wow, yeah, good morning. I know you're getting ready to throw something on the grill for Memorial Day. Just wanted to check in. Yeah.
Type in your email that you use, and we'll make sure that Santa Claus takes care of you for Christmas.
Okay, so guys, look, freedom isn't free. Thank you for your family's contribution to keeping us free. I love that. With the emoji. The emoji is straight fire. Don't step out of your comfort zone. Start using emojis, please. Like, people are whenever people see emojis, they feel emotion. Like, emojis have become part of the culture. I hope you guys understand that. So please use emojis, step out of your comfort zone, put smiley faces, put frowny faces, put LOLs, ha-ha-has, connect with people. That's really the key to this. Let's see, is there anything else? Okay, so current events, sports. I hope you guys that are in just one market know your market very, very, very well.
Super Bowl or something, or man, imagine your team's like in a playoff game or something and it's Sunday or something.
Exactly. Like, There's so many ways to chop this up. And honestly, the part about it is that if everyone, yes, this is recorded, Walter. So if everyone, absolutely everyone was unique, there would really not be any issue because, you're your own person. Maybe some things might be a little bit, here and there, but I know that for my business, I will always be personal and I will always try to make that person feel good, because if they truly are behind on their taxes, they are an absentee homeowner that's out of state, they're worried that their property is like all messed up, they haven't seen it in a while, and they think they have squatters in there. Why would I not want to make them feel good?
Right. So real
Um,
quick, I'm going to pause you. Is Kevin dropping some nuggets on you guys today or what? I want to give Kevin some love because you're really hooking people up. This is some of the best stuff that I've heard, and people need to hear it. So give Kevin some love. And if you guys can, as an SMS platform, we really love trying to give you guys as much value as we possibly can. We bring the best that we can. On our Facebook group, we have a live video, like, comment, and if you can share it, would be awesome. We're really trying to get the word out because we're doing so much in SMS, and there's still a long future ahead, which I'm going to get into on the other side of this. So once Kevin finishes and talks about the strategies, I'm going to debunk some of the myths that are going around SMS as well that are going to be really cool as well. So, would really appreciate any social media love so we can get the algorithm going and put some fire behind this, guys.
Thank you guys. I love that. I am really happy that you guys really think that. I'm humbled, honestly. And I hope that you guys understand why I came in so strong on, I'm not sharing my messages. I will never do that, but I can give you the steps. You can't teach you got to teach a man to fish, right? You just can't give him fish. I'm not here to give fish. I'm here to teach you how to fish. So I hope that was really great. And Adam's absolutely right. I posted in a ton of groups over the week that SMS is still strong, is really alive. And as a wholesaler, it really worries me why people are so worried about what ifs. Like, people live in their heads, as I mentioned earlier. They live in their heads and they're what if, like, what if crackdowns, what if this, what if government, what if you quit worrying and got to this money and got to these people and their solutions, what if that? Choose what you want to be.
Love it. So Kevin, what other strategies or tips can you offer wholesalers?
So don't copy and paste because it kills creativity. Think about the signatures that you guys have in your emails, wishing you well, sincerely, all of those. We do that as a culture because, and whenever the internet started and email started, they're like, let me make this personal. That was their way, their signature, right? That's what it means, the signature. Use some of those things. You can adapt it, and when it comes to texting, everyone really doesn't like a texter that takes too long to text back. If you're going to send out a campaign, make sure that you or your VA are readily available to respond, right? A lot of people that have Smarter Contact don't even know that there's a way that you can drip the entire campaign. So if you have 2,000 messages that you're going to send out, you could do like 50 every 30 minutes or 100 an hour, right? Whatever is most digestible for you. I have a VA, so I know what they can handle on like a 30-minute time frame, where they can grade every single lead and go through the flow that I have set for them, right? And that helps me hold them accountable and make sure that there's no leads falling through the cracks. Because if you're not using your tools to the best of their capability, then you're not optimizing, and you're going to lose out on some opportunities.
Speed to lead. So when somebody responds back, it takes the fluidity away from the conversation. If you take an hour to respond to someone, now they already forgot about you. They're on to the next thing, and now you're the last thing on their mind, right? So the faster you respond, if it's within 5 minutes, 10 minutes is an ideal time to respond. That's a really great response time. So
Hold on. Actually, let me make sure you guys are still paying attention. Why is it? Give me one reason why it's important to text back fast for someone that is wanting to have a conversation with you through SMS. Just one example. Why should you respond quickly? Keeping it on their mind so the lead doesn't get stale. They're already in the moment. Response rates drop dramatically after the first 5 minutes. Yes, all of those. Fluidity, that's an actual statistic. Importance. How about this? How about if you text back within 1 minute, they know that you're not a robot. They know that it's a real person, right? Because I hope you guys, even the follow-up conversation, like the macros that you have set in place, come off personal, right? Because what do people usually, if people usually respond with the same thing after the opener, right? Who are you? Who is this? What do you want? What is your offer? If you think about the macros that you have set in place, have those be personal too, because if you respond quickly, they're gonna be like, oh wow, this really is a real person, you come off less scammy. So when you get them on the phone, they're like, hey, you were the guy texting me? Yeah, I was actually. Let's go ahead and get on the phone like ASAP. So yeah, great feedback, guys.
So I'm going to upload a macros sheet that we have with some macros we recommend. So I'm going to upload that to the chat here as well. But yeah, that's the next step, is also having the macro set up.
Here, I'll share one more tip for consistent results. Find out what your peak hours are. Do like a test of a campaign that tests, do a genuine campaign, right? But like keep track of like the response rate. When are you getting more responses, right? Is it in the morning? Is it at lunchtime? Is it at dinner? Is it at 3? Is it on the weekends? Is it on Mondays? Is it Fridays? Get very detailed and specific about your results that are working and when you're getting the responses. Can you recommend a good transition to get them on the phone? Absolutely. Hey, Chris, I hate texting. Can we just jump on a quick phone call and make sure we're the right fit? Can you talk about what your lead flow looks like? For example, what actually makes it to your CRM versus what stays as a follow-up? Yeah, great question. So I only put hot leads that I talk to on the phone in my CRM. I keep my CRM very clean. I actually use Smarter Contact as a partial CRM for follow-up conversations, like people that are ready but not ready just yet. Hold on, let me see. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Let's see. There it is. Share screen. All right, cool. So this is actually someone I closed. Who is this? My name is Kevin with blah blah blah. This is just an example of a deal that I closed recently. As you can see, the conversation, this one was actually sort of dry, but even this, okay, perfect. I'll talk to you on Friday, Sharon. Have a great remainder of your day and week. I just want to wish them well. Like, I want people to feel good. I'm a positive person. I like to spread positivity. And these are my results in the past week. Today's obviously not the 21st, it's the 20th, but it kind of just touches on it. So these are my grades, right? Cash buyer, dead, CRM, new, hot, follow-up, texting. The last week I've got 14 hot leads and 13 follow-ups. This grade is really important for me because I keep track of this, and I make sure that, this is basically my pipeline. Obviously, I'm not going to close all of them, but if I can just close 1 or 2 or 3 out of them, that's great. In this past week, 14 hot leads, those are people that I actually talk to on the phone.
So you're saying, so here's what we're seeing here is 16,000 texts sent with a 98% delivery rate. And you see the dates here, right? This is May 12th and May 21st. So this is going to segue into the next part of the conversation about anybody that says text messaging is dead, doesn't know what the hell they're talking about, or they're using the wrong platform. So this is a whole other piece of it, but the results are right here. You see 16,000 messages with a 98% delivery rate.
So let's see in the chat, please let me know, are you getting better at, or actually, are your results not as good as this? Please let me know if your results are not as good as what I'm showing here. True, I was using prompts from skip trace. It's not as good. They're bad. Oh, Lily, we definitely got to get you on the right track. Fontella, how often should we change out the phone numbers? I have about the same delivery rate. Okay, great, Bradley. I'm glad you do. They're good on smarter campaigns. What platform do you? I'm using Smarter Contact, smartercontact.com. They're using, I'm using Google Voice, so I don't know. Okay. Hey, start small, but track your numbers. Also, your customer service is amazing. Thanks, Justin. Delivery rate is the same. Lead flow isn't the same. Okay, how did you get those emojis? Great things set up. Great question, Bradley. I actually have a video on that already. Can you reach out to one of us after the call, and we'll send you that?
Daniel, can you post in all attendees the most recent video that Kevin just did on setting that up? It's really helpful as well.
Okay, cool. So a lot of questions here, right? The initial question was, are your delivery rates or your response rate not as good as this? One thing about getting to this point is you have to keep adapting, right? To stay consistent, you have to know that change is the only constant. So make sure that you're always changing, that you have variety. So as far as who I'm using for skip tracing, Smarter Contact, and I'll tell you why. I have a video on that too. If I use Smarter Contact skip tracing because I can export out mobile numbers and landline numbers separately. So that by itself increases my response rates because I'm only texting mobile numbers, right? I'm not texting landline numbers. Sometimes the issue with skip tracing is that if you get all both landline and mobile mixed up, your response rate is not going to be as good, right? Your delivery rate might not be as good. So that's like a preparation step to making sure that you get great results.
Yeah. And on top of that, you're going to spend more money on phone numbers. You're going to use more rotations. You're going to spend more money on texting. So by texting less numbers, you're actually going to save on your bill as well.
That too, cost effective. What lead types do you focus on, sir? I do a lot of absentee owners, vacant. Gosh, I mean, really, you can focus on those and always get a deal.
Amazing. So we have a lot of questions, and I also want to segue onto the next part of this because we have a lot to discuss too, also on the future of SMS and what's going on. So I'll leave a small section at the end for Q&A, but this is an important subject that's been brought up over the last few months. So we all get on Instagram. We all know these real estate gurus that they'll say anything to try to sell a course. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of the market we're in, or the industry we're in. So with text marketing, it's alive and well. There are certain changes that may come around in the next 6 months to 12 months, but you can see what the delivery rates are still sky high. We didn't build a cheap platform. So for me personally, I live in Eastern Europe with a team of 12 engineers that put this together and do it in a very high level. So, it's one of those things where it's a very, very intricate and well-built product because we've invested a lot into this product from the ground up. So, there's other products out there that are cheap that maybe not getting the same results because really it's what's under the hood. But in terms of long-term longevity, I mean, there are some changes coming around in the next year. But, for somebody that's wholesaling now for the next 6 months, forget the noise. I'm telling you, the results are still there. The delivery rates are still there. We're fighting it as much as we can with the opt-out. I know some of you guys had some questions. We were the last one to add that in there, and we added a way for you guys to remove it. So if it was a deal breaker and you wanted the opt-out removed, we actually have a way to remove that. We haven't had statistics yet on changes in delivery rate. I think it's about the same so far, but we have ability for you guys to remove that. But in terms of anybody that tells you texting is dead, just unsubscribe to this person, because it's either A, their platform, or B, they're just trying to sell a course or they have an agenda. And that's really what we found to be true on both sides. So happy to answer any questions. I think this would now be a great time for a Q&A. So I think this was helpful for a lot of people. So type some more questions here in the chat. Can you answer if you're using the opt-out language? Interested to see the difference in response rate. So that's still Fontel. We're still gathering that data. We literally just added it about a week and a half ago. So we're just now getting the data. So hopefully soon we'll have it.
Yeah, I'm actually split testing right now. I have it removed, but I will send out messages with the opt-out language included, mixed in with normal language templates. So right now, and I'm keeping track of which ones are successful, which ones are, you know, not. Right now, I mean, I'm kind of having pretty good success all around the board, but I think I still need to do more volume. Maybe once I do like 50,000 leads, I can, you know, judge appropriately, because since I'm doing so many outgoing messages, it's the law of small numbers is going to be in all messages favor. I'm sorry. Yeah, no problem. Great question. Diego, is smarter content going to follow the new laws that are supposed to start on June 1st? What new laws are you referring to, Diego?
Yeah, so he's referring to A2P10 DLC that got pushed back indefinitely. So I can speak on that I have a lot of context on that. So A2P10 DLC basically requires registration from providers, but that got pushed back. It could be September 2021. We don't know. It could be at least, I think it's going to be at least 6 months before that happens. And even when it does, there's ways around that. There's other strategies around it. So I wouldn't be too concerned. I can tell you June 1st definitely got pushed back. That's no longer the date. We're probably looking at least another 6 months beyond that. And even when it does, we'll have a plan around that. So hopefully, Diego, that answers your question. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question around that. But June 1st, no issues. Nothing has changed at all. Should we change out the phone numbers? How many should we use at a time to rotate? So the good question, Chris. So the system intelligently rotates the numbers for you, and we have different algorithms built into it that do, like, imagine you're playing baseball and you're throwing a curveball, a fastball, a changeup. You know, like, we throw so many different kinds of pitches at the carriers on levels that you wouldn't even imagine. And you kind of have to do that. So, you know, I built this 3 or 4 years ago. So we had a lot of time to learn. We're not one of these, you know, newer companies that are, you know, gurus that just slapped it together. We've been doing this for a long time. So we do the rotation for you. But in terms of numbers, just know that for every 200 texts you have to go out, you want one phone number. So for every 200 texts, one phone number, and the system is going to auto rotate the messages for you. Questions here.
Oh, there's a question from Facebook Live. Thoughts on the new company registration requirements? Well, it's not a requirement yet, is it, Adam?
Yeah, that's what they were talking about. Yeah, it hasn't taken place yet, because June 1st it was supposed to, but it got pushed back indefinitely. So we have at least another 6 months, at least before that even takes place. And even when that does, there may be ways around it. But for now, we do have at least another 6 months before that takes place.
Robert, I actually answered that question previously. A smarter contact rotates the message every 50 messages, so they're spread out evenly. No problem. Joaquin, can you share your best contact info where we can connect with you? Yeah, you can actually add me on Facebook, Kevin Hernandez. The smarter content, provide any training, best practices, etc.
We do. Yeah, we have tons of YouTube content. So type in the chat below, who here is type if you are a Smarter Contact customer, type yes. If no, type no in the chat. So I want to hear from you. Type yes if you are and no if you're not. See a lot of familiar names here, actually. Chris, Kim, Rob, Diego, absolutely. Charles, man, yeah. So a lot of you guys are writing just the panelists, but absolutely, Charles, I will get you a recording. Yeah, man, I should have had you on as a panelist on here. No, yes. So kind of a mixed crowd. So here's what we'll do. Listen, we're very passionate about not only building the best platform. That's my job, is to get you guys the best product. And we brought on Kevin this last year. It's been a blessing to bring him on because he has a lot of experience, but really he cares. And you guys can see that in this webinar. He actually really wants you guys to be successful. So the combination of just having the best tool and having someone that uses the tool consistently to close leads, there's no reason you shouldn't be closing deals. So for you guys that are not Smarter Contact customers, when you sign up, we're going to add in an additional $30 credit to your account immediately. So once you sign up, just tell them that you saw the webinar with Adam on the customer support chat, and we'll add $30 to your account for signing up. But with all the information that we have, there's no reason you shouldn't be successful. And for the customers that are currently Smarter Contact customers, I can tell you we're going to do weekly trainings with Kevin. So Kevin is going to be doing a weekly training, weekly give, and we're really going to be here for you guys. If you have a question, we want you to engage more in the Facebook group. Kevin will answer it. I'll answer it. Any one of the other customers of ours will answer it. So engage more in the Facebook group because all the knowledge is there. You just have to ask. No.
Yes, you should.
Off. Yeah.
Yeah, status needs to be turned off. You want your number is going to get blocked that way.
Yeah.
Around how many outbound do you average a week? Yeah, I send at least 2,000 messages per day, so 10,000. So 40,000 a month.
Yeah. Joaquin says, if with the skip tracing service, if we skip the same person twice, will we be charged? Unfortunately, yes, it's one thing we've been trying to do. We never got around to it, but we do have bulk rates. So if you're pulling, I mean, listen, there's no better data than the stuff we had to dig up and find. I mean, the results are in that's Kevin's using it. Our top customers are using it. So, people skip trace with other carriers and then they're losing out on deals. So what I would say is if you're doing volume, we can try to work you out a deal that makes sense. Especially if you're doing bulk, we can work out some for you, Joaquin. Just hit us up on the chat and we'll work out a custom rate for you based on the volume that you're doing to make up for that. Cool. So I guess maybe leave it for one or two more questions before we wrap up. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah. Let's get all the questions. Please ask away. Don't be shy. Definitely ask, because you never know when. Hey, this could be our last day, right?
Let's do this. Post your biggest takeaway in the chat. So, you guys saw a lot. This is a lot of value here. So tell me your biggest takeaway that you're going to take to your business today from this webinar. What was the biggest takeaway?
Water. Be personal. Yes.
Yeah.
Open-ended messages are very important. Yes, they are definitely important. When our phone gets close. Yeah, yes, Chris, your number will be replaced automatically. That's so that your message gets delivered. Rob, and be creative, of course. Yeah, great feedback. I'm glad you guys get a lot out of that. You are gonna kill it. Oh, and please let me know, like, if you guys are really gonna, put this into practice. Uh, Go on the group or find me on Facebook, and please let me know if it really improves your response rate, because I'm really curious. I know that I will obviously have success with it consistently, but I want to see, where you were now, where you were before, to, just off of this webinar, if it actually added value to your business, something that you can actually track and show proof of. So, please, I would love to see it. How many SMS sends to one deal? I typically get a deal every 5,000 messages. On top of your 2K texts a day, do you have a goal on how many follow-up calls or only follow-up via SMS? Yes, I do like to follow up on people. I will, depending on who it is. You guys saw my grade that says follow up. I will call all of those people. I'll export it out with Smarter Contact. You can export out grades individually. All the follow-up ones, I will call them personally. Torak asked from Faithful, do you always add your name to your initial text, whether you add it in the beginning or at the end? Actually, Torak, that's a great question. I'm glad somebody brought it up. I don't always put my name, depending on the type of message. Remember, like, I have variety. I don't always put my name, because I'm trying to make room for something else, right? And what happens with that is that people will either, let's say I do a message that does not include my name, but includes the opt-out language. Pay attention, because this is really important. If it does not have my name, but does have opt-out language, the tire kickers are gonna ask to be removed either way. The people that ask, who is this? Those might be the ones that are interested, because if they really don't want to do anything with it, they will respond with stop. That's why opt-out is, it can be a tool that you can use, towards your favor. With your VA, what all do you expect them to do? I expect them to
Respond fast.
Yeah, respond fast and go through the flow. Make sure that they're using the macros that I have, because those are very thought out too.
Yeah, Chris, you asked a question. What happens when your number gets blocked? So this happens, right? The number gets blocked. This is normal. So when a number gets blocked, you simply just want to delete it and replace it with another one. I highly recommend you replace it with another one, but reach out to the support team if your number gets blocked and you're not sure what's going on. Reach out to the support team. But yeah, if you do get a blocked number, we recommend just going into the phone setup screen, removing it, deleting it, and then buying another one from the same area code, and you get a brand new fresh number. And then just make sure that they're stacked. So just remember, the phone setup screen, it's going to go in the order that you set. So make sure to drag and drop it where all the local area codes are coming from on the same order. So yeah, short answer, just delete a blocked number and then buy it. The system does auto purchase, but it's just to make sure that you have it all set up in the right order. I just delete it and purchase a new one.
How do you know your phone is blocked? It'll be on the list. There's a part on the list, if you scroll down, it says block numbers, and it'll be under that list.
Yeah.
Mr. Andras, I'm not sure if I'm pronounced that correctly. I call them and I also text them. It's totally fine to go to war with two guns, right? SMS and cold calling, right? Go to war with those. The more ammunition you have, the more ways and tools that you can to increase your likelihood. Use all of them until you get what you need, a yes or a no. That's what you want, that yes or that no. No maybes. Use all of them until you get what you need, a yes or a no. That's what you want, that yes. All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So any other questions?
Cool. This will be available on the Facebook group. So, we have a lot of people on there. One thing that we want to also do, one of our goals is to get more engagement in our Facebook group. Daniel, can you drop a link to our Smarter Contact Facebook group? And this is a great place to ask questions, to get feedback. If you're stuck, maybe you need the second opinion on one of your templates, right? So you went through and you followed Kevin's advice and you're thinking, okay, is this one or two templates good? Would use, and yeah, we'll provide feedback. We'll critique it for you. Maybe you want to know how to respond to a seller or any kind of feedback. This is like a free mastermind. You don't have to go pay some big expensive real estate coach. This is completely free that you get part of the community. So we highly recommend you leverage that, ask your questions, help other people, and really create a community of winning. This is how we win. We win together. So yeah, we'll post the link in the chat here for the Facebook group as well. Macros. Yep. Let me see if I can upload that here. See if I can upload it. I'm trying to upload it to the chat. It won't let me. Reach out to our support team on Intercom and they will send you a copy of it. We have that available for our customers. Yeah. Also in the Facebook group, if you search the macros, it'll be there in the Facebook group. If you go there, search macros, you'll be able to see it there. So cool. Wrapping up, Kevin, thank you so much, man. This is one of the best webinars we've done. Big shout out to you. I know that a lot of people here are really equipped to be more successful. They just needed to hear this. So Kevin, big shout out, man. Thank you so much. So everybody gives Kevin some love today.
Thanks for coming.
Give Kevin some love. My man. Thanks, Kevin. And guys, this will be on the Facebook group. And wishing you guys outstanding success. We want to hear your victory. So in the next couple of weeks, when you get a deal under contract, post it. We really want to hear it. So thanks again, guys. And we are out.
Have a good one.